This is a show, ha-cha-cha, with no particular niche, baby. It's always about hanging out. Maybe we'll laugh at some stuff, maybe we'll learn something new, but it's always about hanging out, me and you. Hi, hello, and welcome to That Thing with James, a podcast about nothing in particular. I'm your host, James, and today we're going to talk about some stuff that I wish I had learned sooner. In particular, the lady pirate, the queen of pirates, a Chinese pirate woman named, hopefully I am pronouncing this right, Zheng Yizhao. That's the only pronunciation I could find, although it was said by an English person, and English people are particularly terrible about pronouncing non-English words correctly. Hell, they can't even pronounce English words correctly. What world do we live in where Americans speak better English than the English? Anyway, we're going to learn about the Queen of Pirates today. And before we get into that, quick business. Did you know? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But if you don't, I have a lot of bonus episodes. I have over 100 bonus episodes of this podcast. Yes, over 100 bonus episodes, and you can get access to all of them at patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Once again, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Help support the show and get access to over 100 bonus episodes of this podcast. And to those of you who are already patrons, thank you so much. You rock. And if you're considering it, here's the details. $5 bare minimum entry gets you 30 days of access to over 100 bonus episodes. So it is enough. I believe it's enough content to last you through at least a month if you watch it religiously. Please do not worship me, though. I do not want that. But I do want your support. So head on over to patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Show your support and get something in return. As for my socials, the show email, all that good stuff, all those details are written in the episode description, so you don't have to try to remember it, well, I'm not even saying it. They're written in the episode description, and if you're watching this on YouTube, they are appearing on the chyron, the banner at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, the video screen. Maybe not your entire monitor or phone, but you get the idea, hopefully. I try not to make assumptions because to assume is to make an ass out of you and me, or it's to make an ass out of Hume. Hume, that got me on something here. So we call it a vacuum. I swear I've talked about this on here before, but it's worth repeating. We call it we call a vacuum a vacuum, and we call the space-time continuum a continuum, but these words, vacuum and continuum, both end with a U-U-M. So why isn't it continuum? Or why isn't it vacuum? So I implore you, from now on, do not call a vacuum, call it a vacuum. Okay? And then do not call the space-time continuum a space-time continuum. Call it the space-time continuum. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And audio listeners, this show's on YouTube. You can see my pretty unshaven visage at That Thing with James. Just go to the search bar on YouTube and type in That Thing with James, because I'm James and this is my thing. And my channel will pop up, and there you will hit subscribe. And then you will watch every single video on there and hit like on every single one of them and share them with everyone you know, especially my mini series that I made. I did After the Tone and Minor Tensions with Dick Whistler. I've not made any more series. It's just this year has been, I mean, every year since COVID has been rough, but this year's been especially hectic. But today is not. Well, actually, the water is shut off right now, which is why I'm unshaven. One of the first things I wanted to do today was shave my face. But I can't because the water is shut off. But regardless, despite these hurdles, despite these obstacles, I come to you unshaven, unwashed, to talk about the Queen of Pirates, Zheng Yi Zhao. That's probably how it's pronounced. Zheng Yi Zhao. I'm trying to do the name because the tone affects it. As far as I understand with Chinese, I think the tone can change a word. Speaking of tone, you're about to hear a quick one because I'm going to take a sip of water and recalibrate, and we will get into the story of Zheng Yi Zhao. Be right back. Boop. Hey, did you miss me? Did you think about me a lot while I was gone? Hey, it's Freak Bob. Have you heard that Freak Bob thing? Hey, I've tried calling, but no one ever wants to talk to me. Yeah, Freak Bob or Freaky Bob. You should look that up. Freak Bob called. He said you're invited to the Diddy party. Anyway, let's get into this. There are not a lot of articles that I found, but I did find this one that should be long enough to fill in the 30 minutes I'm aiming for this episode. So let's dive in. This is on, let me make sure audio is still recording. This is on military.com. Written by Blake Stillwell, published March 20th, 2023. Now, I first heard about this woman from an episode of Our Flag Means Death. The second season, I didn't enjoy it. It was fucking boring and maudlin where it needed not be so boring and maudlin. That's just me. But I heard about this, the Chinese Queen of the Pirates, and I said, whoa, this sounds like a real thing. I think I've heard of her before, which I had only in name, though. I didn't know the details, so I looked it up. And I found these articles, like this one at military.com, titled, "A Chinese Woman Led the Largest and Most Successful Pirate Fleet in History." Now, I've covered pirates on this show before, particularly the pirate code, and I discovered, along with you, hopefully, that pirates were very, very democratic. Like, it was one of the earliest, and to this day, most democratic institutions in history. I mean, yeah, there's the Greeks and everything, but, beyond that, pirates were extremely democratic, and the captain did not have all the power. There were lots and lots of checks and balances. It's really cool shit. Anyway, let's read this. Here we go. In 1808, the Chinese Qing government, overwhelmed by pirates of the South China Sea, decided the time had come to take out the worst of them all. The Red Flag Fleet, under the command of the notorious pirate Qing Shi, I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Please forgive me if I mispronounce them. And if you know how to pronounce them correctly, write it in the comment section on the YouTube channel. That would be neat. Some engagement. Under the command of pirate Qing Shi had been a continual thorn. The Red Flag Fleet had been a continual thorn in the side of commerce for years. The Qing gathered a massive fleet of warships and set a trap for them. Dun, dun, dun. Rather than hightail it for safe harbor in the face of an enemy that outnumbered her, Qing Shi sailed right for the government forces. What a badass. She a bad bitch. She awesome. She hardcore. When the smoke cleared, the Red Flag Fleet left behind a graveyard of burning hulks, roughly half of the Qing Navy, and even took a few dozen ships home with them. What a badass. Oh my God. That's the woman of my dreams right there. When confronted with a massive fleet of ships bent on destruction, standard operating procedures for pirates in the Caribbean and elsewhere would have been to tuck tail and run until the heat was off. Or maybe they'd wait until some European colonizer needed the ships elsewhere, leaving the pirate ships free to raid the seas once more. Except Qing Shi was anything but your standard pirate. For starters, she was a woman, a former sex worker who married into the pirate life, but turned out to be really, really good at piracy. She would be such a badass at, cataloging and archiving media and creating an archive and stockpile of physical media, because they're trying to take it away. The corporations are trying to take away media, trying to take away physical media. Fight them. Fight them. Fight them, I say. While Caribbean pirates like Blackbeard could boast a handful of ships and hundreds of men at best, Qing Shi commanded an entire armada. An armada is a lot of ships. An armada, a lot of ships. Pat myself on the back. I like that one. With more sailors than most nations could muster. So, she was not afraid of the Imperial Navy. There's a reason why she would be remembered as the most fearsome pirate in history. Stanford historian Diane, Diane, D-I-A-N. Is that Diane? Diane, D-I-A-N. Diane, let's say it's Diane. Diane H, as they say in England. They don't say H, they say H. Stanford historian Diane H. Murray wrote about Qing Shi in her book Pirates of the South China Coast, 1790 to 1810. That's the title. For nearly a decade, Qing Shi either shared power or outright controlled the South China Sea, no matter what the Qing emperor thought. At the height of her power, she commanded 400 ships with an estimated 40,000 to 80,000 men, and was capable of taking on any maritime force in the region. So there's a meme I found within the past month of European history versus Chinese history. And European history will be like, Baron of such and such sacked 6 cows, and it was called the Battle of the Cowpat that lasted 12 hours. Meanwhile, Chinese history is like the Battle of 10,000 days. 6 billion people died. 10 billion people born and died again. The stars fell. I mean, Chinese history is like Elden Ring lore times quintillion. It is insane. So it's surprising, no less, but not so surprising to me that she would command 400 ships with an estimated 40,000 to 80,000 men, and was capable of taking on any maritime force in the region. Now, before she ruled as the pirate queen, she had a much more humble life. At the time, when the U.S. Navy was barely a thought, Jing Shi was born as Shi Yang into the Tanka family, a people, that cracks me, persons, a people who lived and worked on junks. That is a kind of Chinese sailing ship along the coast of China. As a young woman, she worked in the brothels, gambling houses, and boats of Guangdong. 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 Her life changed drastically at age 26. Don't let your dreams be dreams. You're never too old to embark on a new path. Like her, like Zheng Yizhao, her life drastically changed at age 26 when she married the notorious pirate Zheng Yi in 1801, pardon me. I was off 7 years. Hang me about it. Her new husband's pirate fleet was already impressive, but it became an armada under her shared command. For about a year after being wed, life carried on as normal as it could for a husband and wife team of pirates. That all changed in 1802, the next year, when Zheng's cousin, a pirate in his own right, was killed by the Vietnamese. Holy shit. Zheng had to consolidate power over his cousin's pirate fleet, but thanks to Xi Yang's business acumen and organizational capabilities, the infighting among the pirates was short-lived. Ladies be good leaders. Ladies be good leaders. A statement and also a request. Ladies be good leaders, please. She helped negotiate a truce. Generally, I trust women more than men. That's just me. That's my life experience. Hang me about it. Mm-hmm. She helped negotiate a truce among the leaders of the pirate fleet into one confederation. 6 fleets, each flying a colored flag: red, black, blue, white, yellow, and purple. I wonder what that looked like, because that's a lot of fucking colors for a flag. Would essentially operate as a pirate navy. Together, Zheng and Xi commanded the largest fleet, the Red Flag Fleet. Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh my God. And you gotta look up these images of these Chinese ships. They look like the sails look like dragon wings. God, I would love to go to China. Yeah, I'm communist. Hang me about it. Together, Zheng and Xi commanded the largest fleet, the Red Flag Fleet, and by 1806, every seagoing vessel in the region paid tribute to them for protection. All was well for the couple until Zheng was either killed in a storm or also killed by the Vietnamese. Either way, he was gone, and it was time for his widow to take over. Ladies be leading, and I be taking a quick water break. Just a second. All right, now let's learn about the lady leader of the pirates. Now known as Jing Shi. She took on a new title, a new name, a new her. Now known as Jing Shi, she married Zheng's adopted son. What? Bitch, your husband died, so you're gonna marry his adopted son? Was he hot? I hope so. He must have been hot. Was he caked up like Jean-Claude Van Damme? I certainly hope so. Could he do the splits? That would be cool. A fucking, a rocket, a fucking cannonball shoots. He dodges it, jumps up, does the splits mast to mast, and he lifts up his center mass to dodge the cannonball. And Qing Shi was like, damn, and married his ass. So, now known as Qing Shi, she married Zhang's adopted son, Cheng Baozi, who was supposed to inherit his father's command. With this marriage, she took control of the Red Flag Fleet. Her first act was to implement a code of conduct that ensured discipline among the outlaws, effectiveness in combat, and above all, success and riches from loot. I wonder how much people in China learn about this when they're, taking their history classes. Do they get to learn about the Red Flag Fleet? Because that's something I'd like to know. Man, I'd love to take all sorts of cool history classes without the essays. Just let me go to fucking cool lectures and learn stuff. That would be cool. Education, like healthcare and all essential needs and that sort of thing, should be free. That's just me. I'm a communist. Red Flag Fleet, baby. That's me. Pirate life for me. But here's the rundown. Of the rules that the lady put forth. Okay. I just read it. Her first act was to implement a code of conduct. Okay, so here's the rundown. Only Qing Shi could authorize an attack. Unsanctioned attacks were punished by beheadings. Okay, so if you want to go shoot or pillage or anything like that, if you do that without the go-ahead, you're fucking dead. Yeah, I like that. There's no 3-strike rule. It's either get with the program or fucking get out. And the older I get, the more I feel that way. For me, my own life, if only I could go back and give my former self the wisdom and confidence, the wherewithal, and the emotional foundation that I have now. Let's keep reading. Loot is to be gathered by superiors and distributed equally. Punishment for the first infraction was a severe beating. Repeat offenders were beheaded. Yet again, get with program or die. You're free to leave if you don't want to follow these rules. Next, ears were cut off of those who deserted their post. And the second time they deserted, they were beheaded. Get with the program or get cut, or really get cut. Next one, and I love this one. Rape was punished by beheading. That I really like. Rape was punished by beheading. Consensual sex without Qing Shi's permission meant a beheading. Your female partner slept with the fishes. Wow. So if you fucked without her consent, no go. And I think this was more, so it seems extreme, but, if I'm putting myself in her shoes with like a strategic thing within the context of that time, you fell out of a coconut tree and you really got to reel in the variables. So I think a lot of this is just a tamp down on sexual assault or sexual exploitation of another person. Okay, and then there's one more here. Pirates had to marry. This tracks. Pirates had to marry female prisoners before they could be ravaged. Cheating on your new spouse or treating her poorly was punished by beheadings. Fuck yes. Hell yeah. I love this woman. Now, on top of earning protection money from shipping, Qing Shi raided coastal villages and kidnapped foreign officials for ransom. I love it. It's actually because of one of those hostages, how about one Richard Glasspool, who was held for 4 months, that we know so much of anything about her operation. Oh, is there a whole other article about that? Oh, it's a Yale. Yeah, that's going to be too much to read right now. So, the Qing dynasty did what it could to deter or defeat her. The pirates defeated a 35-ship flotilla under the command of Lin Gualang off the coast of Shenzhen. Another government force under Sun Guanmo attacked with 100 ships, only to be sent packing. After the naval spanking of 1808, they asked foreign navies for help. Damn, they could not stop this woman. The Red Flag Fleet was a gigantic and awesome pirate navy. Holy shit. None of them, however, truly defeated her or the pirate fleet she gathered. At the September 1809 Battle of the Tiger's Mouth, that was a fucking cool name, the Red Flag Fleet faced down a joint Chinese and Portuguese battle fleet that tried to bottle her up in Dongchong Bay. For 3 months, the blockading Portuguese attempted to destroy her ships. She took some pretty heavy losses, but sailed away with her pirate force largely intact in the end. Oh my God. Qing Shi realized the government harassment would never end. She used her considerable power to negotiate a pardon for herself and her sailors when her enemies were at their weakest. She negotiated a cash settlement, a title of nobility, and was even allowed to keep a small flotilla of ships and sailors. A life that began in poverty ended in flame and prosperity. She died at age 69. Nice. She just keeps getting cooler. As the owner of her own gambling house, widely respected and remembered for her extrajudicial exploits on the South China Sea. So she started in a gambling house, went to the fucking top, brought literal countries, entire countries to their knees, and then said, and now you're going to not just leave me alone, you're going to make me rich, and you're going to leave me and all my people alone. And the thing with pirates is it was most of the time, like 99% of the time, if not more, outcasts. These are social outcasts. Outcast by race, creed, sexual orientation. People became pirates during these times, the age of piracy, often because they didn't really have any other option. It was either that or die in a cowpat. These were people trying to live the promise that, for example, America gave, the promise of self-determination. And you learn quickly as a poor person, as a woman, as someone on the fringe, someone put down again and again, that there really is no self-determination unless you fucking take it. Yeah. And that's what she did. Zheng Yi Zhao. Oh, what a bad bitch. And ended in a gambling house. Well, folks, that's it for this episode. I need to clock off of here. I need to log out, charge my camera up a bit, and figure out just what the heck I'm going to talk about in the bonus episode. So once again, if you want access to all the bonus episodes and the peace of mind that comes with helping to support an independent artist such as myself, become a patron today at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.